What's up guys, Raziel here, and this is going to be a quick video, but I just finished watching Square Enix's presentation on E3. So I'll give you kind of my thoughts about it. The information I'm going to share is probably pretty wide known now. There will be some spoilers if you don't want to be spoiled about some story elements in Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers. We did get some more information about that in the trailer. Which we'll all be playing in the background with, but there won't be sound, as you'll just be hearing my goddamn voice the whole time. But Final Fantasy VII Remake and Final Fantasy XIV were the highlights for me, and that's what I want to talk about. So let's go.
I am Raziel.
Okay, guys, with Final Fantasy VII Remake, we'll do that first. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it because the footage is all going to be available. I'll put a link in the description below so you can watch the gameplay footage itself. We finally got to see Tifa. We finally got to see Sephiroth. Eris, of course, we've seen before, but we got to see more of her. We got to see her and Tifa both in combat. Of course, we got to see the entire first boss fight of Final Fantasy VII. We know the release date is March 3rd, 2020, and they put pre-orders on sale for both the Deluxe Edition and the Standard Edition. I myself, I have to go for the Deluxe Edition. For those of you who don't know, Final Fantasy VII was a huge fucking part of my childhood. I've probably played that game all the way through and gotten like everything max at least 50 to 100 times. It's hard to really gauge, but I know that's a big separation in number, but I loved that game. It was such a huge part of my childhood, and I'm really, really excited to be going into it. The combat has been changed, so it's not just going to be, turn-based combat like it was in the original game and pretty much every Final Fantasy made up until recently. So it's going to be more action combat based. You can still switch between players. You can slow down time to make certain actions more turn-based, but they're kind of giving you the choice of how you want to approach combat, which I think is really cool. The footage you see on the screen now, the footage that we got to see during the release has been amazing, and the promise that they gave us during the entire thing, that they said you're not going to be disappointed. That was our primary goal, is to not disappoint the fans of the original game and to make people who never played the original game fall in love with it, because it's going to be amazing, guys. I was blown away by the presentation. You could tell the crowd was really having a great time watching it. But the other thing that people have been kind of worried about is the fact that it's going to be released on multiple projects. They said it's going to be released in two separate full Blu-ray discs. The first one will be in March 2020, which they're going to expand the entire opening story, the Midgard's story, drastically, and add way more elements that they wanted to add in the original Final Fantasy game, but they were unable to add because of the constraints of the PlayStation 1 console, time, money, and all those sorts of things. So I'm really, really, really pumped. If the remake is even 3/4 as good as the original, I'll be satisfied. I honestly think it's going to be as good. It might even be better, but we'll have to see. I'm not gonna make all these huge bold statements that oh, it's definitely gonna be better, it's gonna be the best thing ever. But I really, really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm interested to hear what you guys thought of the project, of the presentation. If you haven't seen it, or if you're watching it now on my channel here, or if you clicked on it in my description and then you're watching it later, I really want to know what you think about what we were shown. The fact that materia in the game is actually going to be visible on the weapons and armor that you have on your characters is pretty fucking cool. The details on the graphics were exquisite. I really liked the voices they chose for the characters that we got to see, and I have a feeling we're going to get a lot more depth on character development than we got in the original, and a lot more of those interactions that are really hard to express in a game that's text only, like it was in the original, where you had to read everything. I think now that we have voice actors and things like that, it's going to be very, very much more in depth than the original, in terms of where they can take the story and the character development and the emotional heartstrings they'll be able to tug on because of this. So yeah, I'm fucking stoked, guys. I mean, I'm pumped. I mean, I don't know about you, I was at full mast the whole fucking time. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So guys, let me know what you think of the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now on to the reveal of Final Fantasy XIV. Now, I went into this wondering what can they possibly show us, because this isn't the live letter. We've seen everything, but they showed us some the opening story trailer, and man oh man did we get some information if you're familiar with Final Fantasy XIV story and lore. We saw, for example, the main characters in the story. You know, they've shifted a lot more to being like darkness themed, like the Warriors of Darkness are, like Alpha Null, and you can see, you know, that he's changed quite a bit with whatever transition he went through. The big reveal for me, though, came near the end of the trailer, where it seems like the Emperor of, you know, the Garlean Empire, that's actually an Ascian, is kind of working with us in a weird fucking way. Maybe not, but I kind of got that impression a little bit. But excuse me. But when he revealed that Hydaelyn and Zodiark are the oldest of the primals, that the crystals we've been serving throughout this entire game are fucking primals, man, that legit made me like jaw hit the floor. Like, that was amazing. It makes me even, I've already been so excited for Shadowbringers to come out. If you watch my streams, you know that I took that whole week off of work, and I'm going to be streaming Shadowbringers from the get-go, the leveling process and gearing up, and I'm super pumped to get into Dark Knight, which is the job I've mained since Heaven's Ward, and I'm going to continue to main it in Shadowbringers, especially if it, unless it, you know, I don't find it fun, which I highly doubt is going to happen. I think it's going to be a blast. But it even got me even more excited to get through the story and to see where, you know, Yoshi P and the development team are taking us. And another thing I really wanted to mention and bring up was, you can just see the excitement on Yoshi's P in Yoshi P's face when he talks about Final Fantasy, when he talks about the game. You can see how dedicated he is to it. You can see how passionate he is about it, and about the fans, and how thankful and loyal he is to everybody, and how happy he wants to make everybody, and how much of an enjoyable experience he wants Final Fantasy XIV to be as an MMO. He announced that they've reached over 18 million registered users for Final Fantasy XIV, and right now, you know, 2 weeks before Shadowbringers comes out, Final Fantasy XIV has more subscribers, active players, than it has ever had. So I'm guessing it's probably in the vicinity of 1.5 to 2 million players, and I think that's only going to go up once Shadowbringers launches, because, I mean, we all know what a sad, sorry state WoW is in. In my personal opinion, is WoW Classic's going to temporarily bump that up, but people are going to leave again because it's finite content. We already know where that ends. It's life support for the game. But I wanted to point this out because I feel like Final Fantasy XIV right now is in the best position it's ever been, and it's probably going to be the best version of the game we've ever had. That's, again, just my opinion. I know there's people raging about changes, but keep in mind, a lot of the potency announcements we've got for the abilities and the job changes are going to change before launch, and expect heavy changes to come in on certain jobs in the first 6 weeks. But can you imagine anyone at any other company, Bethesda, Blizzard, Activision, EA, treating their game with this much passion and excitement? And I mean, we have Yoshi P all the way back to Realm Reborn. There's videos of it all over YouTube. I'll link that in the description as well, of him crying on stage because of how overwhelmed with emotion he was about the launch of the game, about the support the fans gave him, about how he didn't want to disappoint people, and how the legacy of the Final Fantasy franchise is so important to him and the company. Right now, I don't give a fuck what game you like. If that can't be rivaled, then you're not going to see that anywhere else. The amount of passion and love for the game and its fans that this man and his development team have is unparalleled. But anyway, guys, what did you think of the Final Fantasy XIV opening story reveal trailer, as well as Final Fantasy VII Remake? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you follow me if you like the video. If you don't like the video, go fuck yourself. I don't care. But if you like the video, hit subscription and ring the little alert bell so you know when my videos go up. Follow me on, I would say Twitch, but I don't really Twitter, but I don't really do Twitter anymore because social media is cancer. But follow me on Twitch and come by and hang out. We have a lot of fun on my streams on Thursdays. We get drunk and play Final Fantasy, and then you can find my Twitch streaming schedule in the About section of my page. But thanks so much, guys. I'm really interested to know your thoughts, your excitement levels, your hype levels, and as always, you beautiful bastards, Keep it real.